Warning, this is just one idiot's opinion on the internet. If you disagree, that's cool too. So you want to hear story, do ya? Alright, sit down and shut up. 5 years after the first 4 Vault Hunters opened the vault and defended the beast lying within, things started to get a little hectic. First, after the vault was opened, iridium, a priceless mineral, started appearing all over Pandora. Handsome Jack, the owner of the Hyperion Corporation, took notice of the minerals and its special properties. The Hyperion Corporation started a huge mining operation and attempted to bring order to Pandora, and by that I mean basically bought or killed whoever got in their way. Roland, an ex-member of the Crimson Lancers, led the resistance against Jack, with the help of Lilith, Mordecai, Brick, and of course CL4P, TP, aka Claptrap. 4 new Vault Hunters came to Pandora in search for riches. Instead, they got left for dead in the frozen tundra, which is where our story begins. The year was 2009. Games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and New Super Mario Bros. Wii topped the charts. 2009 was also the year developers Gearbox and 2K just released their new series Borderlands. The game was a mix of first-person shooter-style gameplay with RPG elements being thrown into it. The new series was greeted by favorable reviews, and by 2011 it sold over 4.5 million copies worldwide. One kid who did not buy one of those 4+ million copies of the game? Me. Although a number of friends tried to convince me to buy it, I had spent my money on Sonic and the Black Knight. Yeah, sometimes you miss the mark, I know. With sequels, it can be so hit and miss. You can get games like Galaxy 1 and 2, or games like the Force Unleashed series. Even with that thought in mind, I anticipated the release of Borderlands 2, and I knew I was picking up a copy as soon as I could. Could the game live up to the original, or even surpass it? This is my review on Borderlands 2 for the Xbox 360, Xbox One. Also available for PC, PS3, PS Vita, and PS4. The game takes place in the vast world of Pandora. A world that is overrun by bandits, criminals, and psychotic robots that wear human flesh to blend in.
Humanity, here I come! Hi, I'm human. I eat food and desire things.
Yeah, there's an image you won't get out of your head for a while. The game starts off with you known only as the Vault Hunter, being betrayed by Handsome Jack, waking up in a frozen tundra of death before being found by the last remaining Hyperion robot, CL4P-TP, aka Claptrap. This gives you an introduction into just the kind of people you will be dealing with on Pandora.
Great! Now that I've met a mighty Vault Hunter, I can finally join the Resistance in Sanctuary, take vengeance against Jack for killing my product line, and repair my central processor so I stop thinking out loud! I wonder what it's like to have a belly button.
After being contacted by the guardian angel known as Angel, yeah, real creative Gearbox, you are tasked with following Claptrap to Sanctuary, a safe haven of sorts. Once you arrive in Sanctuary, you are tasked with joining the Crimson Raiders and stopping Handsome Jack. Your first mission? Saving Private Roland.
Before the bloodshot's grabbed.
Oh, did I say private? I meant your fearless leader who got himself captured by some lowly bandits. Glad to be a part of this team. Traveling all over Pandora, trying to stop Jack at every avenue, you will meet tons of characters. And when I say characters, I mean characters. You have some familiar faces such as Scooter, Lilith, Mordecai, Britt, Moxie, Dr. Zed, and Marcus. You'll also meet some new people like Sir Hammerlock, Scooter's sister Ellie, and my personal favorite, Tiny Tina. The psychotic 13-year-old girl has as warped a mind as I have witnessed in any video game. From her love of explosives to her uncomfortable sexual opinions of stuffed animals, this chick is on another level. Handsome Jack actually shows up on your Echo device every now and again to remind you of your end goal too. Also to taunt you, call you names, tell you that you're gonna fail, and tell you how he's gonna kill you. Hell, once he even bribes you to kill yourself. And if you do, he actually pays.
But if you want a huge reward, you jump off that cliff and become my bitch.
After traveling all over the vast regions of Pandora, a couple of betrayals, and a weird interaction with Angel, who is a siren and also Jack's daughter, this is it, the final mission. Jack, needing a siren to replace his now dead daughter, has captured Lilith and is summoning the Warrior, a gigantic stone lion sort of thing. Actually, anybody know what that is? Anyways, after you blow the brains out of that thing and save Lilith, you only have one thing left. Collect the loot and... Jesus, guys, wasn't that a bit much? Oh well. Borderlands is a first-person action RPG. The game consists of you exploring the vast worlds of Pandora and completing either main game story missions or side missions for the various characters in the game. You also have the option to try to find loot everywhere in Pandora. After all, you are vault hunters, so by nature searching for treasure is kind of your thing. When you start out, you have 4 characters to pick from, with even more being added through the DLC packs. DLC will be covered at a later time. You have the Commando, the Siren, the Assassin, and the Gunzerker. I chose the Gunzerker named Mr. Fluffles for this playthrough. Each of the characters in the game, like the first one, have a unique skill tree. Each level you gain will give you a skill point that can be used in 3 separate categories of your skill tree. The skills give you a great amount of variety and all feel unique and specific to the characters you selected. Along with the skill points as you play through the game, you will earn badass tokens that can be added to your health, melee damage, and many other things. Throughout your adventures, you will collect multitudes of guns, grenades, shields, and special mods to boost certain skills. The game, along with its many weapons, comes with different effects for each weapon, such as fire, corrosive, shock, and slag. Each one of these has a specific element and strengths and weaknesses of each enemy type. Robots and enemies with yellow health bars? Corrosive is the way to go. Human flesh? Let's see how it handles the heat of a jack-up flame gun. 2 of the main objectives of the game are to find as much money as you can and iridium. Iridium is the material that is used to unlock the vault, gives sirens an insane amount of power, and is also another currency type for you. When you start off in the game, ammo might be sparse at times. Now I don't mean like Fallout sparse, but you might occasionally run out of ammo. Or you have too many guns in your backpack and you can't pick up the sweet new Hyperion gun you just found. Just hit up Crazy Earl's Iridium Emporium and trade your iridium for some useful upgrades. You can increase the amount of ammo you can hold in certain guns or grenades, and increase carrying capacity for your character. The side missions are often funny and creative, and they help explain the characters of Pandora quite a bit.
Here we go. Daisy, I like you a whole lot. More than that bandit likes spooning that robot. You are a diamond in the rough, or a flower surrounded by shrapnel and stuff. I will hang myself from my own tombstone if within you I cannot put my bone.
After doing some research and talking to people who had played both games, I'd got some opinion on comparing the 2 games. First one mentioned was that the skills trees felt underwhelming compared to the first Borderlands. It was also mentioned to me that guns in the first were completely randomly generated, as opposed to this version of the game, where guns have tropes based on companies they made it for. For example, in Borderlands 2, if you encounter a Hyperion weapon, you know that it's going to get more accurate with each shot you take. And if you pick up a Torg weapon, your shots are going to be explosive. In the first installment, these tropes were almost non-existent, so you could get a Jakob's weapon with caustic damage, or a Malawan with no elemental damage. I can't speak much to the skill tree portion, but I do like the sounds of all guns having the ability to have an array of assets. Though randomly generated can get on my nerves when you hit a bad stretch of luck, so I'm okay with the way they did it in 2. 2K is often known for games that look great and are very polished. Borderlands 2 is no exception. When you first take a look at the game from the outside, it can look, shall we say, corny? But playing the game, it looks incredible. There are so many places to explore on Pandora, and every one of them has a unique environment. You start in an icy tundra. You have a Wild West themed area or desert to explore. Characters all look incredibly detailed and original. The music is often a mellow bass that tends to build with combat. More often than not, blends into the background, and at most points was unnoticeable. That might be because I was paying so much attention to the dialogue though. I have no clue what people wrote this game script, but they deserve an award. The writing in this game is brilliant. Every character has their unique style of talking and ways of going about situations. It's the way that they go about situations that make the writing great. I think it's better explained through clips rather than me talking, so here's a few.
Hot, bloody, and cut. Here is my handle, here is my butt. Got a very important tea party coming up, and my date is missing, and I am not going stag! Don't even suggest it! His name is Sir Reginald von Bartlesby, a local aristocrat and purveyor of the fine arts. I believe his mother has forbidden him from speaking with me. You will convince her to release him into my custody. Nap time!
Honestly, if you don't find that funny, then I can't help you. Go find something else to play, I guess. For those that enjoy the writing, check check out my top 10 handsome Jack lines from the game. Links here, here, and here. The more side quests you do in the game, the more each character is expanded upon as well. You learn about characters' pasts and how they got to this point. Not to mention, some of the scenarios are so absurd that you have to finish the quest to see what happens.
Mr. Sparks, what do you think?
No! I'm sorry I sold out your family! I'm sorry!
Holy crap, if you want to complete every quest in this game, then buckle up because you're in for a ride. The main game will probably only take you about 15 to 20 hours depending on exploration time. But if you really want to go the extra mile, then you are probably looking at 40 to 50 hours, and that's not even including the copious amounts of DLC that exist for this game. You should have absolutely no problem getting your money's worth out of this game, and much, much more. After you beat the original game, you unlock True Vault Hunter mode, which is basically a new game plus of sorts. Enemies are scaled to your level, and chances of finding rare loot increase exponentially. Not something I would do right after beating the game, but if you were to play the game again down the road. RPG shooters can be very hit and miss for me. Add in the probability of a sequel doing as well as the original, and you're probably heading for disaster. But Borderlands 2 doesn't suffer at all. The art style, the gameplay, the missions, and especially the writing are all on point, and it's hard to find a real flaw in this game. Gearbox outdid themselves with this one. Hopefully the pre-sequel is just as good. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion on Borderlands 2? Comment in the box below and give me your take on the game.